Hello and welcome my fellow plastic addicts. 2016 is almost finished and we have had many characters being made and many updates done. But who else still needs to be made? Too many to name, but let's try and bring it down to 10. So here's my top 10 Marvel characters that have yet to be made into a Marvel Legends. Please note I'll only be listing new characters and not alternate costumes or remakes. Also note that these will be regular size figures and not builder figures. Both of these will get their own videos at some point in time, probably in January. So let's start off with number 10. 15 years of Marvel Legends. Of those, 10 have been the Human Torch. Did Hasbro or even Toy Biz ever think to make a variant of him with his facial features gone to give us a nod to the original Human Torch? That's right, my number 10 is Jim Hammond, the Human Torch, Marvel's very first superhero when it was known as Timely. With the rumoured Fantastic Four wave coming out, this would make an obvious head swap for the Human Torch. The only problem is that the Human Torch that will be coming out in that wave will more likely have the Fantastic Four symbol on him. But I want Hasbro to leave that out so we can get a swappable head. Not only that, it will make them money because people will be buying two figures, one for Johnny Storm and one for Jim Hammond. Next is number 9. A World War II hero that was forced to retire because people found out he was black. My number 9 is Adam Brashear, aka Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel came out of retirement when Thanos invaded during the Infinity Arc and became a main member of the Mighty Avengers under the leadership of Luke Cage. He later became a member of the Ultimates after the Secret Wars ended. This character could use the Capwood body mold with a new head, or it could use the Hyperion mold. Now, this can only be released in an Avengers wave, or it could possibly be released in a Guardians wave, but that's very unlikely. Next is number 8. Wyndham Varg was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent guarding the quantum bands for Project Pegasus, the quantum bands being from the original Captain Marvel. When terrorists decided to invade and try and steal the quantum badge, Wendell just had to put on the quantum badge to ensure that they weren't stolen. They were bonded to him and he became Marvel Boy. However, my number 8 is his Quasar personality. Quasar was later revealed to be the protector of the universes because he wore the quantum bands. He would later die and be resurrected a number of times, but the one I want is similar to the Marvel Universe one that was released in the Marvel Infinity line. However, for this, I think maybe the Cap book or possibly the Spider-Man 2099 book would do. However, I want some parts of it to be translucent and have some kind of star patterns in them. This will possibly be a Guardians of the Galaxy wave because he is a cosmic character. Next is number 7. When the Grandmaster decided to bestow 4 people with the powers of an alternate superhero team, he created the Squadron Supreme. One of those would become more of a hero than most of them, joining not only the Squadron Supreme but also the Defenders. My number 7 is Nighthawk. With Hasbro having given us Speed Demon and Hyperion, Nighthawk is the most obvious choice to be made next. They've already done it in Marvel Universe, so he should get done in Marvel Legends at some point. He's also an important part of the Defenders, besides the 4 main characters in that: Hulk, Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange and Namor. He is actually one of the main Defenders, along with Hellcat, Valkyrie and yet to be made Hellstorm. With a Netflix Defenders wave coming out some point in 2017, this could be a possible figure for that wave. It could also be a possible figure for the Avengers wave, maybe as a swappable figure with Dr. Spectrum. Number 6 is next. Next is another character who will complete the team. You may notice a certain team with my character choices. Back in the 1970s, the X-Men were being done in reissues. So when they decided to bring back the X-Men, they decided to have a new team of X-Men. We've had most of those members made, but there's one character that seems to be left out the whole time, and that is Thunderbird, my number 6. Thunderbird is the older brother of the X-Men Warpath, and he was one of the first X-Men to die in the comic books. Now, the main reason I think Hasbro is reluctant to release this character is because he was a very stereotypical type of character that basically was an Indian, and he had Indian garbs on it. So they didn't want to make it seem, that character seem racist. However, it's actually one of the main characters that we really need to complete this team. So I would like to see it done in a possible X-Men wave at some point, or maybe a giant size X-Men box set later in the year. Next is number 5. Next is number 4. I'm going to cheat a little and talk about 2 characters in particular, those being Northstar and Aurora. The twins are a member of the Alpha Flight, and Hasbro has hinted that they wanted to make him because they were part of the first fan poll they ever did in Toy Fair magazine. Not only that, but Northstar is a very significant character for Marvel. He is the very first openly gay character, and has been the very first openly gay character to be wed to his gay partner in comics. There was even a whole cover of them getting married. But that shouldn't stop Hasbro from releasing Aurora with him. These two are almost inseparable in most incarnations, and while Northstar has gone on to do many solo careers and has been a member of the X-Men on more than one occasion, Aurora is almost as significant to him as any other character. It'd be like releasing Cloak without Dagger, or releasing, I don't know, Captain America without his shield. These figures will be a possible X-Men wave, or if they want for the upcoming Wolverine movie, they can release that in a Wolverine team wave. Now we get into the top 3 with number 3. People who watch my ideal wave for Spider-Man know who's going to be next, and that is the character who should be coming out to go with Misty Knight, and that is Colleen Wing for number 3. Like I said in that video, she is the other half of the Daughters of the Dragon. So to have Misty Knight and not to have Colleen Wing is just wrong. Like I said with Aurora and Northstar, these 2 characters go together more often than not. I know that Misty Knight has been alone for a while in the Heroes for Hire series, but Colleen Wing has usually been beside her for most of her career. This character could be a possible figure for the Spider-Man, like I said in my video, and also for the upcoming Defenders wave, where she is actually part of the Iron Fist Netflix series, although she's Asian in that. The runner-up for my top 10 is... He was an Avenger when I started reading comic books, whose psychic powers awoken when his future self from the original Guardians of the Galaxy paid him a visit. He is Justice. Justice is a very significant character, not only because he's an Avenger, but he was one of the original New Warriors. Not only that, but because he killed someone, he actually voluntarily went to jail to pay for his crimes. After he was released, he was invited into the Avengers. He left the Avengers at the same time his girlfriend did, so he could go to college. He has since become a teacher of the Avengers Academy and has gone back to being a member of the New Warriors. Since his future self, Vance Astro, also known as Major Victory, is coming out in a future wave of Guardians of the Galaxy, it seems like a perfect time to release Justice into the Avengers wave or possible Guardians of the Galaxy wave, but that unlikely. In fact, they could actually use the exact same body mode, just give him a different head and a cape. And number 1, the winner of my top 10 most wanted characters is... Those who know me know who's my number 1 character is. She was originally created for the Spider-Man and Friends cartoon, who would later jump ship into the comic books. And when I was starting reading comic books, she was part of the main team of Avengers when there was only one team. She is a mutant who has the power of heat through microwaves. She is Firestar. Now, when I used to collect Marvel Universes, I got really excited when they released Firestar in the Spider-Man and Friends box set. But I really want her in a 6-inch scale figure, and not the yellow jumpsuit she's famous for, more the Avengers suit she wore during her time as an Avenger. The only problem I think Hasbro has with this character is basically where to release her. Could she be in a Spider-Man line, since she was introduced in a Spider-Man and Friends cartoon? An Avengers line, since she was in Avengers and a New Warrior, which was considered the younger version of the Avengers at the time? Or could she be in an X-Men way, because she is a mutant that was introduced in the New Mutants comic books, being a part of Emma Frost's New Hellions, and later will become a member of the X-Men. You see, the problem they have is they don't know where to put her. My suggestion is basically put her into a Spider-Man line, just to get her out as it is, or put her into an Avengers wave because with her boyfriend Justice, who was my number 2. Well, that's my top 10 most wanted figures of 2016 that I want made in 2017. Now, please note, as always, is my personal list is not a list that everyone wants. I actually want you to tell me what your top 10 most wanted figures are. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook and Google+. Visit our website where I post most updates of my status and schedules for the show. If you want to look at the ideal wave for Spider-Man that I mentioned earlier, click on that annotation there. Or if you want to look at some near complete sets, click on the annotation here. Or if you want to look at some more ideal waves, click on the annotation at the bottom of the screen. That little icon there with my logo on it, that's the subscribe button. If you don't want to go to YouTube to watch it, just click on that button there and it'll subscribe for you. But make sure, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure the little bell symbol beside the subscribe button is on and has 2 brackets on each side. That'll let you know when I'm updating it via email. Next week is the last video of 2016, where we go through various categories and pick out what was the best figure of 2016. So I'll see you when I see you.